up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours, where there is huge topics to discuss. Firstly, Barcelona are going all in, and I mean poker all in, for Bernardo Silva. Deco wants him, Mateo Alemán wants him, Joan Laporta wants him, and more specifically, Xavi wants him. Bernardo Silva is open to the move as well, but a lot has to be done on his side and from Barcelona's side to convince Man City to sell him. Pep does not want him to go, but Pep said that if he wants to leave, we will let him leave if the right offer comes in. Along with the midfielder, the club are also looking at a right back. Again, Fresneda and Cancelo, two main options, and Barcelona have officially agreed personal terms with both of them. Fresneda, Cancelo have agreed to join Barcelona this summer. It is now all down to agreeing with their clubs in Valladolid and Man City respectively. We could end up signing both of them, neither of them, or one of them. We'll have to wait and see. We also have an update on the possible arrival of Vitor Roque this summer and how Juan Foyth has re-emerged as an option at right back as well. But of course, for players to come in, players are to leave the club this summer. We've done a lot of sales so far. We have two more sales left. One is Sergino Dest. We have an update on his situation. And secondly, Clement Lenglet. We also have an update on his situation, how it's currently in the most advanced exit at Barcelona after seeing the exit of Kessie and Ousmane Dembele. On Dembele, we do have a lot behind the scenes on his transfer saga, what happened, what went down, and we do have some leaked conversations of Ousmane Dembele and Xavi and Ousmane Dembele, one of some of his teammates as well, on why he left Barcelona. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. Now, we're first going to be discussing Barcelona's pursuit in the right back position, which looks set to be Barcelona's priority right now in the Mercado. And of course, the two main options are Joao Cancelo and Ivan Fresneda, and we do have an update on both of their possible arrivals. First one, on Joao Cancelo, his arrival is making some big movements, and there has been a big step achieved, and that is that Joao Cancelo and Barcelona have agreed on personal terms. Fabrizio Romano came out saying that Barcelona have not yet made an official offer to Man City for Joao Cancelo. Man City want a permanent move, while Barcelona are looking for a formula like a loan. Early talks but contacts are currently ongoing, and again, personal terms agreed. Cancelo wants to move. Jordan Miro then confirmed this, saying that Barcelona have an agreement with Jorge Mendes for Joao Cancelo. He would earn 6 million euros net per year, which is around about 120 to 130,000 euros per week, which of course is also the salary of former Barcelona player Ousmane Dembele. So basically, essentially, Barcelona have just switched Dembele's salary to Joao Cancelo. Now, Fabrizio Romano came out, he was doing a YouTube video, and he was asked, does he think the Cancelo deal will happen? This is his opinion. He said yes, because City want to sell him, and Barcelona wants to buy him, and he wants to join Barcelona, so there's a good chance this deal will happen. Now, also, Mateo Marito gave his opinion about, is there a chance for Joao Cancelo staying at Man City, because he doesn't want to, he wants to join Barcelona. He thinks the two clubs can easily reach an agreement at some point. And Mundo Deportivo are also reporting that Barcelona have conducted an internal study which shows that Joao Cancelo's attitude and personality can be a problem, but Xavi told the club that he'll be able to deal with him without any problems. Keep in mind, Cancelo's not had a good time with Pep at Man City. He had a fallout with Spalletti at Inter Milan. He had a fallout with Nagelsmann at Bayern Munich as well. So he does have a bad track record, but if Xavi is confident in his abilities, then fair enough. Now, also, Jordan Miro came out saying that currently it is not ruled out that Barcelona will sign both Cancelo and Fresneda. That is still on the table. Mateo Marito has also confirmed this, saying that even Fresneda continues to be an option for Barcelona. The club has a principle in agreement with the player. We will see if Barcelona go for both Bernardo Silva and Cancelo due to the economic situation. So this is big news. Barcelona have officially agreed personal terms with both Joao Cancelo and Ivan Fresneda. All that is left is to finalize one or both deals with Manchester City and Real Valladolid respectively, which means that the right back signing is coming in very soon, right at the halfway mark. Once you get those personal terms agreed, just now getting the agreement with the club, so we're already past the 50% mark with both these two signings. It's just now about reaching an agreement with their parent clubs. Now, For me, it depends on a lot on what Barcelona can do, whether or not we sign both. I think if I were to make a prediction, I don't think we're going to sign both. I think we're going to sign one. I know Deco is drooling and umming and ahhing over Fresneda, but I think it depends also on what the deal for Cancelo is. If it's a loan with the buy option, I think the club will push for Fresneda. But if we're signing Cancelo permanently or spending a lot of money on a loan fee for Cancelo, I think the club may leave off Fresneda for now. But I think it will depend on many factors, but one of the most important things is that both options are still on the table. We can end up signing both right backs, and of course, if we do sign both, Fresneda will be immediately loaned out, and he'll be the right back for Barcelona next season, with Cancelo's, again, most likely being a loan move. His loan move will expire. So we'll have to wait and see what happens in this, but keep your eyes on the situation. The right back signing is advancing heavily, as Barcelona have agreed personal terms with both Cancelo and Fresneda. Now, the player who was Barcelona's right back target, number one target at the beginning of the summer transfer window was, of course, Juan Foyth, but that signing was ruled out due to the economic demands behind it. But now, since Barcelona sold two players and we're feeling rich, Miguel from AS came out saying that Juan Foyth to Barcelona is not ruled out. If the club fails to sign Joao Cancelo, an attempt will be made on Foyth. In fact, Ferran Torres could be used in the deal with Villarreal. Now if we don't, very interesting, but if we don't get Cancelo, why not just spend on Fresneda? I mean, why are we going for both? Secondly, I think including Ferran Torres in the deal is catastrophic. We are currently we barely have enough forwards right now to get by. Selling one or including one in the deal means you have to go out and buy the other one. It doesn't make sense to me right now to let go of Ferran Torres unless an irrefutable offer comes in for cash. I'm talking 40-50 million euros. I think Ferran Torres should stay. It's going to be a big opportunity for him. He's going to have a lot of shoes to fill, but the opportunity is there for them, and let's see if he can take on that chance. Now, Juan Martin's come out saying that Barcelona have thought of Juan Foyth again, but it's very unlikely. Villarreal have already sold players that they need to sell, and are going to be very, very strong in regards to Juan Foyth's availability. So again, looks like it will be his release clause or nothing. His release clause is, I believe, 55 to 50 million euros, somewhere around there. So I mean, we have that money. We've sold for Kessie for 15. You got Dembele for 25. There's already been money that we already had for the summer transfer budget, so it's definitely affordable in terms of the release clause. But FFP and all this stuff, very, very complicated. So we'll wait and see. I honestly would rather get Juan Foyth over Cancelo, even though I think Cancelo's profile is more than what we need right now. But Foyth is just so much long term to it, and it is the right back that Xavi wanted from the beginning. But if we get Cancelo on loan, I think this operation is going to be very, very difficult. But it looks like Cancelo now has jumped over Foyth as a number one option, but you cannot totally rule out Foyth quite yet. Now, Joao Cancelo isn't only the Portuguese Man City player who Barcelona are interested in. They're also heavily, heavily interested in Bernardo Silva, as Barcelona do have their sights set on making the midfield signing. Now, Fernando Martinez from Deportivo came out saying that the Bernardo Silva operation is now officially underway. Joan Laporta, Mateo Alemán, Deco, all three will be involved. Barcelona considered him as a top priority after Dembele's departure. They were looking at formulas to make the transfer a reality. Silva will be willing to push for the exit, and he hopes that Man City will allow him to leave if Barcelona can present an offer that convinces Man City. Barcelona have been interested in him since the 2021-2022 season, but never presented an official offer. But this time, the chances are going into the official negotiations and are significantly higher than before. So I've been telling you guys over the past few videos that unless Bernardo Silva pushes internally, I don't think this move will happen. And now Bernardo Silva says he's going to push internally if the official offer comes in and the offer is actually fair. Now, on the offer, we're hearing either it's going to be a 60 million euro plus 10 million euros in variables offer, which is a 70 million euro package, or it will be a loan with an obligation to buy for the same price, around 70 million euros. Now, Fabrizio Romano's come out saying that Barcelona will try to sign Bernardo Silva for sure. He's the dream signing for Laporta and Xavi. Silva's always wanted to try a new chapter, especially attracted to Barcelona, but Man City do not want to sell him. Everything will come down to how much Silva wants to push for this move. So again, Silva does hold the key. Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona are going all out to sign Bernardo Silva. The final decision has been made. The entire club is working on his arrival as a total and absolute priority. Victor Navarro from Cope came out saying that Barcelona will try the impossible in order to sign Bernardo Silva. Guardiola will not impose his departure if Bernardo asks for it, but for a minimum of 70 million euros. Today is difficult with those numbers. Then Cope came out saying that Barcelona will do the impossible to sign Bernardo Silva. Pep Guardiola will accept his departure for around 70 million euros. Now, Gerard de Mero, who of course was very close to the Bernardo Silva saga last summer, came out saying that Barcelona could try to sign Bernardo Silva if they activate the sale of the percent of Barca Studios, and the departure of Dembele, Kessie, Lenglet, and Dest are confirmed. Barcelona are offering Silva a salary of around 10 to 11 million euros net on a 3-year contract plus a 1-year option. So with that 11 million euro salary, that does put him, top 3, top 4 highest paid earners at Barcelona. And again, we need to activate that other economic lever with the Barcelona Studios, that 65% to some German company for around 60 million euros. And you have, of course, the 60 million euros, 25 on Dembele, that brings you to 75. Then you have Kessie is 90, 15. Then Lenglet and Dest, simply for them, it's just FFP. Now, having Miguel from AES came out saying that right now Cancelo is further away than Bernardo Silva because the operation for the Portuguese fullback could collapse, and Barcelona are going all in for Bernardo Silva. But I wouldn't look into that too much. I think the club are really trying for both Cancelo and Bernardo Silva. Now, we did get a quote from Pep Guardiola. He was doing a press conference the other day, and he was asked on the future of Bernardo Silva, and he said, look, I don't want any players who don't want to be here. I want to work with guys who want to stay, but we need a proper offer. We didn't. If they want him, they'll have to get a plane and speak to our sporting director, which of course is TK Berschenstein, who is the former sporting director of Barcelona. So Pep saying, look, if the player wants to leave, we're going to let him go. We don't want any player who doesn't want to stay here. But again, the offer has to be decent, is what he's essentially saying for Bernardo Silva's exit. Now, Fabrizio Romano's come out saying that Barcelona, again, Xavi and Laporta, love Bernardo Silva. He's attracted to joining them. There is a good feeling among them. At the moment, Man City are clear that they have no intention to let Bernardo Silva leave the club this summer. Now, of course, things can change if the offer comes in. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, I think the club are 100% going to make 2 signings from now until the end of the transfer window, end of this month, essentially. It's just going to come down to who. Is it going to be Cancelo, Bernardo Silva, Cancelo, Fresneda, someone else, maybe a Juan Foyth? I'm very, very confident the club will make 2 signings, especially with Dembele and Kessie leaving and Lenglet and Dest set for the exit door as well. I would love Bernardo Silva, but again, I think the price and the negotiations have to be at a point where both clubs are in agreement. I think a 70 million euro package for Bernardo Silva is well worth it. I wouldn't touch the 80 million euro category. Again, that was his value last summer. He has 1 year left in his contract, so I think that should go down to around 10, even though he's still at a very, very high quality. But it's going to come down to Bernardo Silva as well. He needs some reassurance that the club is going to push for him and that the club is going to put in a transfer, or put in a good transfer offer for him. I think once that offer goes in and Bernardo Silva does push, I think this deal will happen. But I think if Bernardo Silva does not push and we never make an official offer, then of course this deal will not happen. So it comes down to Barcelona and Bernardo Silva making a movement, because Man City are there wide open for the taking. They don't want him to leave, but they're open to letting him leave if the right offer is on the table. Now, another name for Barcelona is Alternative FC, and as we do for every single target, we always have alternative options, and the alternative option for Bernardo Silva is still Giovani Lo Celso. There are reports coming in saying that Lo Celso is still on Barcelona's list. Xavi likes him a lot, and he would be a more affordable option than Bernardo Silva, who is not ruled out at the current moment either. With Lo Celso, I think the hope was to have something there with the Franck Kessie deal, but Kessie's going to Al Ahly, so I don't think we have much leverage there. Of course, Tottenham were included in the Juan Gamper. Of course, they're still interested in Lenglet, so maybe there could be something to be done there. Maybe we can offer 10 million euros plus Lenglet for Lo Celso. I mean, that could definitely be a possibility. And keep in mind, the price point between Lo Celso and Bernardo Silva is quite a big gap. We're talking from 70 to 30 million, 50 million euro difference there. So the club might have to look at this option, especially with Man City being very, very hard and they don't want to sell him. And again, we're basically betting on Bernardo Silva pushing internally. So keep your eyes on Lo Celso. I think it can develop. I don't think he's unhappy at Tottenham, but I think he would be very much open to a move. He's been gone on loan the past 2 or 3 seasons. He was at Betis, Villarreal. He's been around I think he went on Villarreal back-to-back loan seasons, if I'm not mistaken. So he's been around the block. I think he'd be very open, and he would definitely push for a move to Barcelona. But again, the Barcelona have to decide to go for him, and I think the club will do that if the Bernardo Silva operation doesn't happen. I think Lo Celso 100% is Plan B, and Plan B, we've seen a lot of Plan Bs being signed over recent years, and that can be activated, of course, if we don't get our #1 target. Now, with the right back and another midfielder, a set and clear target for Barcelona, the club is also in the market for an attacker, and this is why I think Barcelona will make at least 2 more signings this summer. We want a right back, a midfielder, and an attacker, so that's at least 3. So we're thinking 2 or 3 signings. Fabrizio Romano came out saying that Barcelona will sign an offensive player to replace Dembele for sure. This is coming in from the best journalist in the world, saying that 100% Barcelona are gonna assign an attacker to replace Dembele. The question now is, who will it be? We do have some options on the table. We talked about, of course, Jeremy Doku in the last video, but another winger from the League has emerged as an option, and that is Bradley Barcola. This is coming in from Mundo Deportivo and Sport. They both come out saying that in France they link Bradley Barcola name to Barcelona, but it's not known if the club will go for him. Olympique Lyonnais value him at around 50 million euros, and PSG wanted him, although they signed Dembele. And keep in mind, his agent is Jorge Mendes. I mean, am I surprised? Do we sign any other player who is not represented by Jorge Mendes? I have no idea. Now look, the situation with Bradley Barcola is that PSG wanted him before signing Dembele. They submitted a 30 million euro offer to Lyon. That was immediately rejected. They thought that was, the best offer they could make. Anything more than that, they'd be overpaying, and that's why they shifted their focus to Ousmane Dembele. So we're essentially going to get who PSG wanted on the wings before Ousmane Dembele. Now, I've seen some of his clips. He looks like an absolutely fantastic player with a lot of potential, a lot of promise. But with that fee, it's unaffordable. We have already 2 positions ahead of another attacker, right back and midfielder. That will be the majority of our budget, so I cannot see Bradley Barcola coming in at any point this summer. But it's probably maybe want to watch out for the future. But I think he's way too much out of the price range for Barcelona. But there is an attacker who Barcelona have already talked to, and I can say to you, well and truly, have already signed him. But he isn't coming in yet. He's supposed to be coming next year in 2024, but the club could advance it now, and that is Vitor Roque. Roger Solero from Mundo Deportivo has come out saying that Vitor Roque's arrival in this window is not completely ruled out. There are a few chances. Barcelona needs to have FFP margin, and they have to also press Atletico Palmeiras to sign him, only they get knocked out of the Copa Libertadores. Of course, I told you guys already that in the last video that broke from having Miguel originally, but more confirmation from Mundo Deportivo. Now, also, Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Barcelona want to try to bring Vitor Roque now in the summer. This is possible after the sales of Ousmane Dembele and Franck Kessie. So the club are analyzing and thinking about bringing in Vitor Roque now and not in 2024. Now, Vitor Roque's agent, Andre Curry, who of course has been involved in a lot of Brazilian players coming to Barcelona in recent years. He's of course played a big role in the signing of Vitor Roque this summer. He came out speaking to AS saying that Vitor Roque is still waiting to see if his arrival at Barcelona will be possible this summer. So the option is on the table. Oh my god, please make it happen. It's so logical for Barcelona. You're gonna strengthen the team and not spend a penny. We did buy him already, but not spending more money is what I'm trying to say. And it's a player that you've already trusted, that you value, that you want. This would be perfect. Now, I personally think this will not happen. I think it's too good to be true. Of course, if Atletico Palmeiras get knocked out of the Copa Libertadores, things can change, but I think with the agreement already set, keep in mind the Brazilian market is already closed, so his club cannot even make a replacement signing in the market. They're going to be without a striker until January, so it does put them in a bit of a situation. You want to keep the relationship with them good as well. From their point of view, they could be like, oh, you can just wait a few months, you'll get him in January, whatever the case may be. But I think getting him now is so pivotal. Get him into the team, integrate him to come out, make some sub appearances from now until the Christmas break. That once the Christmas break is over, he'll come full flowing, or hell, he could break in straight away. I've seen players do that before, and I would not be surprised if it happens again. So the option to bring in Vitor Roque this summer, a player who Barcelona already signed but is scheduled to come in 2024, is on the table. It is possible, and Barcelona are heavily considering, thinking, and analyzing this option. Now with Barcelona making the necessary sales that they need, they are now feeling even more confident in the final month of the Mercado. Fabrizio Romano came out saying that with the big sales of Ousmane Dembele and from Kessie, FC Barcelona are feeling they can do something in the next week. So with Barcelona now having the money, the funds, the fees, the necessary movements, the FFP, salary margin maneuvering, the club now feels confident they can do some big things by the end of this window. Again, I'm expecting a minimum of 2 signings. I would say the max we could do is 4. I'd say the sweet spot's probably around 3, and I would include Vitor Roque, technically a new signing coming in now, who we do need now with Dembele's departure. But I think the most important thing the club have to do is sign a right back and a midfielder. Honestly, profiles, alternative options here or there. I think bringing in the personnel is what's most important. We can sign Fresneda, Cancelo, does not matter. We need a right back. We can sign Bernardo Silva, Lo Celso, does not matter. We need a midfielder. That's going to be the most important thing. If we do not sign a right back and a midfielder, this season will be very, very tough for Barcelona, especially with the objective set to compete and go deep in the Champions League. And Laporta came out doing interviews with ESPN saying the objective for next season is to retain the La Liga championship. So we're trying to go for the 2 biggest trophies that we could possibly go for, and we do need a squad for that because injuries, fatigues, suspensions, situations will come our way thick and fast. Players without confidence as well. We saw that a lot last season. So the squad needs to be fully fit, fully strong, and ready to go, and there are still a few holes left in this squad, and hopefully the board can fill it by the end of this window. But over the past 24 hours, Barcelona have made a signing, more specifically a midfielder signing, and more specifically at number 10, who the club are looking for the first team. But this signing is for the B team, and it is Noah Darvich. He is one of the most up-and-coming young talents in the world. He did very, very well at the Euros Under-17 Championship the past summer. I think it was him and Lamine Yamal who had the best numbers, best statistics, and Barcelona have signed him. Fabrizio Romano came out with the exclusive saying that Barcelona had to sign Freiburg midfielder Noah Darvich, who was born in 2006, and then it was confirmed from Barcelona sources as well that this deal is done. Gabriel Sanz confirmed it, Roger Telero, Javi Miguel, and Sport also came out saying that Barcelona are going to sign Noah Darvich, 16 years of age, for 3 million euros fixed, with the variables with the total fee exceeding 5 million euros. We have signed him for a 5 million euro package. Fabrizio Romano has also confirmed the fee as well, 3 million fixed plus 2 million euros in variables. Now this is a lot of money to spend on a 16-year-old, and also a lot of money to spend on the B team. Keep in mind now, we have spent 10 million euros on the B team. Calfe was around 5 million, and now Darvich is another 5 million as well. That is a lot of money for the B team. Of course, 10 million euros, that's the fixed fee right there for Ivan Fresneda, who's someone we desperately need for the first team. Of course, you have to remember, we want every team, every sector in Barcelona to do well. But when it comes to football, the first team is the priority. The B team, it's, there to develop players and have players grow there and create a storyline. It's not really there. We're not supposed to be investing in Barca Athletic, to the extent where we're competing with the first team, if you know what I'm trying to say. But overall, fantastic signing. I heard a bit about him before during the under 17 Euro Championship when the news came out. Watched some compilations. This kid looks nasty. So hopefully he comes in, does something big. Again, he could be with that generation of Lamine Yamal. He'll be, if he's in the Barcelona team, he'll be with the likes of Pedri, Balde, Gavi, Ansu Fati. They'll all probably be captains of Barcelona by then. So big move. German as well. So with Ter Stegen, if he breaks into this team, with Ter Stegen still being in the squad, he can help him integrate in there as well. But huge move by Barcelona. They have signed one of the best youngsters in the world. Let's now discuss the players who have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 48 hours. First up is a player who is 100% going to be leaving Barcelona in the next 48 hours, and that is Ousmane Dembele. We do have some updates on the behind the scenes of his transfer. We have quotes coming in that were apparently from the conversation of Dembele and Xavi, and it did break from Javi Miguel from AES, who of course is very close to Xavi. And he came out with these quotes. Let's get right into it. He came out saying this is what Dembele told Xavi in their meeting. Dembele said this, and I quote, "I want to continue and win titles, but in a healthy environment. Here, people always treat me very badly." Dembele told his teammates, "I don't want to stay at the club. People are always throwing shit at me, and I don't want to wait for them to cut my head off. Nobody's going to laugh at me anymore. Here, Dembele is referring to when he was left out of the squad, went to the stands after the coach's criteria because he didn't want to renew and didn't want to expose himself to this kind of situation again. Dembele then told Xavi that his decision had nothing to do with money, although PSG were offering him triple his salary at Barcelona. Dembele told Xavi that his decision was only due to lack of confidence from the board and thanked Xavi for everything that he did when no one else had confidence in him. Dembele told Xavi that he left Barcelona because of lack of confidence from the board and that the money had nothing to do with it, and Xavi's not convinced and is disappointed with the player. Xavi compared Dembele's case with that of Neymar for leaving Barcelona to PSG and told Dembele this, but it wasn't enough to convince him. And Xavi told Dembele that the rumors that Barcelona offered him to PSG for a swap deal for Mbappe were also false. Miguel also came out saying that Barcelona urged Dembele to forgive part of his transfer fee because he has left the club without a replacement just days before the season has begun, but he and his agent refused and said they won't give up a single euro more than 25 million euros that they are owed. Now, Sport came out saying that Barcelona offered Dembele a renewal until 2028 with a significant salary increase, but Moussa Sissoko sent a counter offer asking for well over 20 million euros net, which of course is around 400,000 euros per week. Barcelona considered that as an insult and are upset by the lack of gratitude shown by Dembele. Also, Sport came out saying just before leaving for PSG, Dembele told Xavi, "If it were up to you, I would stay, mister. For you and for the fans, I would stay, but this is not the problem." So Dembele has left because he has a lack of confidence from the board. A board who in the media have done nothing but praise Dembele and have said on countless occasions that he's better than Kylian Mbappe. I've heard this since 2021 from Matteo Alemán, from Jordi Cruyff, from Rafael Uste, and more specifically from Joan Laporta. I think there's been nothing but confidence, but this mother trucker is asking for 400,000 euros a week. Our top earner is Lewandowski on 250. You want to earn nearly double what he's earning. Are you having a laugh? And you're telling me that you were scared the board were going to backstab you. Mate, you're not going to sign a renewal. It's a typical procedure. We're not, hanging you out to dry. We're not locking you up in a basement and making you not play. It's the typical procedure. You're not going to renew your contract or commit your future to this club. We're going to, of course, send you to the stands. Like, we're not going to play someone who does not want to play for us and does not want to commit his future to us. What is the point? To give him minutes and help his career grow when he's not going to help us as a club grow? And all these quotes as well. Oh, Xavi, I love you. I love the fans. But, the board doesn't like me. Crap. This is what Moussa Sissoko is telling him. This is what his family is telling him. Oh, they don't like you. Because his family just wants the bag. They want to go to PSG, back to France, where everyone speaks French, allez bleu, sacré bleu, croissant, and live life. Fair enough to him. I'm just disappointed in the way he's left and the money that we have received. Because I think Dembele in this market, with 1 year left in his deal, is at least worth 70 million euros. The fact that we only got 25 is criminal and an insult to this entire institution, and hopefully the club will learn from this situation, and hopefully Xavi will learn from this as well, that in football, in difficult situations, you really can't trust anyone. But nonetheless, Dembele is claiming that he's left Barcelona because he does not have the backing of the board, and he went to his home country, France, to take triple his salary. Now, a former Barcelona player who currently plays in Ligue 1 but is set to leave Ligue 1 is Clair-Todibo, who of course the club do have a % of any future sale for the player, and many clubs have set their sights to sign him. Mundo Deportivo came out saying that many clubs are still interested in signing Clair-Todibo this summer for around 30 to 50 million euros, and of course Barcelona have reserved a 20% part of his sale and will therefore receive a fee between 8 to 10 million euros for his transfer. You know what? It is a lot of money you have now. We got the 1.5 million from Malcolm. We're going to get around 8, maybe even for lucky 10 million euros for Clair-Todibo. That's 10 million euros just by the clause that we do implement and getting a % of any future sale of a player that we do end up selling. So great move by the board. Again, keep your eyes on the Todibo transfer, because if he is sold, Barcelona get 20% of that transfer fee. But one of the current French players in the squad who Barcelona do want to get rid of and are making desperate moves to make that happen is Clement Lenglet. Now, in the last video, I told you guys that Barcelona were in official negotiations with Al Nassr for the transfer of Lenglet, and the terms were getting very, very close. I was very confident. I was very gassed up, like, yes, we're going to sell Lenglet. But Lenglet has said no to that option. Giovani came out saying that at the moment Clement Lenglet has no intentions of going to Saudi Arabia, although there was an offer on the table for him. Juan Foyth then came out saying that Clement Lenglet has decided to stall the contacts with Saudi Arabia. He does not want to move to Saudi Arabia, and for now he is focusing on continuing in Europe. Now, of course, the confidence in that statement is that he is stalling it, so he's not rejected it. He said he's essentially put it on hold, wait to see if he gets anything in Europe, and if he doesn't, he might make the move there to Saudi Arabia. But there is another European club who apparently are interested in Lenglet, and it's AC Milan. Gazzetta dello Sport have come out saying that AC Milan have Clement Lenglet on their radar, and they think of Clement Lenglet and hope to sign him for around 10 million euros. Contacts are underway with Barcelona. Oh, that's more money than we would have gotten from Saudi Arabia. If we can get double digits for Lenglet, I will kiss the feet of Aleman Deco. Goodness gracious, what I would do to get that transfer fee Lenglet. It's also very big for Barcelona. Again, 25 for Dembele, 15 for Kessie. Got the 60 million euros coming in from the economic lever. Malcolm 1.5. You sold Nico for 8. Money is coming in that, of course, hopefully can be reinvested into the first team. Now, Matteo Merito from Alibo has come out saying that AC Milan have probed the situation of Clement Lenglet, but today it is unfeasible due to the cost. Juan Foyth also confirmed this, saying that AC Milan is not a viable option for Clement Lenglet because Tottenham are leading the race to sign him again. So AC Milan have dabbled into Lenglet. They looked at the situation and they realized they cannot afford him. So they've now not necessarily pulled up, but have retracted their interest. But it looks like Tottenham are back in. Joao came out saying that Barcelona are confident that Tottenham will be the ones to sign Lenglet this summer. Hopefully that's the case. I'm pretty sure that's the only reason why we have Tottenham in the Joan Gamper Trophy this year as well. Look, we just gotta get rid of him. I really don't care how or when or what at this point. As long as it's a permanent transfer for free, whatever the case may be, totally fine by me. Look, his salary is just so ridiculous to a point that no one wants him. And we're at a point in the summer now where the club just want to get rid of him by any means necessary, which, you know, gives me the confidence that Lenglet will leave at some point. He'll leave for El Nasser at the end of the window, or he'll go to Tottenham right now. Now, Tottenham have just signed a right center back, Van der Veen, I think, from Wolfsburg, for like 50 million euros, which is outrageous because you could have gotten Lenglet for 5 million. So, I mean, why do that when you can save some money? You know, Walmart save money and live better. Nonetheless, we'll wait and see what's coming on Lenglet. Of course, he did not play a single second on preseason. He was there though, training and warming up and here and there, but I think he treated his situation with respect along with Barcelona. But hopefully now, with him not playing any minutes, he will make some moves on his exit, which of course Barcelona will happily comply with. Now, the final player who Barcelona want to sell this summer, along with Clement Lenglet, is Sergino Dest. Now, Ben Aid from Mundo Deportivo, who is very close to Sergino Dest, has come out saying that Sergino Dest's entourage is surprised by the news about the possibility of a contract termination for the American. Barcelona are trying to offer him to some clubs, but currently there are no offers on the table yet. So Barcelona is going around Europe offering Dest left, right, and center, taken for free for 1 million, 2 million, but no one is biting at the bait. Now, Gerardo came out saying the contract termination of Sergino Dest is not ruled out. So again, it is definitely a possibility. Keep in mind, Dest is earning around 10 million euros net per season. So he's earning that. He's earning the fucking Bernardo Silva salary. Keep that in mind. So the club might say to him, here, take 2 million and just dip. They might do that to him and he might accept it. Look, Dest, there's very few shite footballs I've seen from Barcelona, and Dest is one of them. I still cannot believe in the Clasico 2 years ago when we lost 3-1 in COVID at home. Dest put on an absolute masterclass. I'm thinking, holy, do we got a right back for Barcelona? How he's fallen, man. It is just crazy. And it is what it is. It could be due to a lack of confidence. Of course, he went to AC Milan, did not play there for the whole entire season because, you know, they thought he was shite as well. Again, the most important thing, same with the Clement Lenglet, is just to get rid of him by any means necessary. Sale, loan, let him go for free with the percent of future sale, contract termination, everything's being evaluated, but Dest 100% will leave Barcelona by the end of this window. Let's now discuss some of the players who are going to be staying at Barcelona for the remainder of the Mercado. First one up is Andreas Christensen. Now, I do remember back at the beginning of the window, there were some rumors about Christensen that if an offer came in, the club would assess it. Apparently, the club rejected around a 50 million euro offer for him. Apparently another offer has come in. Joao de Miro came out saying that Barcelona have in fact received another proposal of 30 million euros for Andreas Christensen, but the club have rejected it. For that price, they are not willing to sell him, but if the price increases to 50 million euros, things could change. What the fudge? 50 million euros for Christensen? What happened, Gerard? And then the season, back untouchable, 90 million euros minimum. Now we're talking 50. When we already have money and we're not desperate for sales now. That makes no sense whatsoever. The only reason, personally, I would consider selling Christensen is his injury situation. It is very slowly but surely getting on par with Ousmane Dembele. The man is injured every other month. Fantastic on the pitch when he plays. He has 2 or 3 months stretch. He'll be out for 1 or 2 months. So he's a very injury prone player. So keep your eyes on that. But he's still very important to the squad. Again, we do have 5 center backs right now. So technically we can bode well with his departure. But the level of drop off from Koundé, Araujo, Christensen to Inigo Martinez and Eric Garcia is staggering. Of course, you have McAlfay coming in. He's too young now to rely on him. So I think the club really need to hold on for Christensen for at least this summer. Of course, the season will go by. The next summer, you can evaluate his situation, but I think 50 million euros for him right now is very, very cheap. Of course, 80, 90 million comes in, you can analyze it, you can assess it, see what you can do with the money and whatever the case may be. But for 50 million, I think that is too cheap for Christensen. He is top 10 best center backs in the world. You cannot name me 10 center backs better than Christensen, in my opinion. He is absolutely rock solid when he's fit. So keep your eyes on Christensen. Again, clubs are sniffing around, putting some offers. They're now getting to the final month of the transfer window, so clubs are starting to get desperate. They want to get some players to reinforce their own squads, and of course, everyone knows about Barcelona. Any offer you make, they will analyze it. So keep your eyes on Christensen. There are offers coming in, but for now, Barcelona are rejecting all proposals. Now, another player who is set to stay at Barcelona this summer is, of course, Abde Ezzalzouli, who, of course, Xavi wants to keep, and he's now been convinced on staying at Barcelona. Gabriel Sanz and Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Abde has convinced Xavi and is closer to staying than leaving Barcelona. Of course, keeping Abde now is very, very crucial. He is the winger who is the most close in trait to Ousmane Dembele, and again, we cannot afford to lose another forward. We're now on 5 forwards. We have 2 forwards who currently have lack of confidence in Ansu and Varane. Rafinha hasn't been doing too well in preseason. Then you have Lewandowski, he's about 34 and is struggling for goals. So I think Abde would be stupid to leave. I mean, you have an opportunity to become a clear starter for Barcelona on the wings. The competition isn't really that strong for him because all he has to really do is just break down that left-hand side because Varane plays on the right, Rafinha plays on the right, so he's got to be better than Ansu Fati essentially to start on the left. And I think, again, with the lack of forwards, he has the opportunity. Whether we get Vitor Roque in this summer or not will not affect him. You'll have 4 wingers, 2 number 9s, so I think keeping him is crucial because not only is he a good player and a player that Xavi wants and has shown it on the pitch, but he saves you money and he saves you time. You're going to have to sell Abde, get a good price, take that money, reinvest it back into another player. We have other priorities. We desperately need a right back and a creative midfielder as well. So keeping Abde is very, very important, and he looks set to stay at Barcelona. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing, obviously, of course, is your thoughts on the signing of Bernardo Silva. You think it's possible or not? Second, your thoughts on the right back situation. You think we'll sign Cancelo, Fresneda, both, or maybe even Juan Foyth. Thirdly, your thoughts on the whole entire Ousmane Dembele situation, your thoughts on his exit, why he left, and the reasons behind it. And finally, your thoughts on those 2 more exits that Barcelona are looking at in Clement Lenglet and Sergino Dest. Do you think those exits will happen? What will be the situation? Do you think Barcelona can recuperate any sort of money for those 2 players? And of course, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and force the Barca.